Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all West Virginia students, sponsored by the West Virginia Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admission Officers and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of the many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at WVACRA.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, WVACRAO.org. Now, I would like to turn it over to our presenters.
Awesome, thank you. All right, well, welcome everybody. My name is Kenna Warren, and I'm an admissions counselor at West Virginia University at Parkersburg. And today we have some amazing students joining us that are going to share a little bit about what it's like to be a student at WVU Parkersburg. And so our kind of motto for the year is begin your journey here. For some of the students that choose WVUP, they'll actually be able to end at WVUP, but we're a great place to get started with your educational journey. So let's introduce our panelists, and I'm going to have you guys introduce yourself. I just put a little bit of information on the screen so that the participants that are watching can know a little bit about you. So Trenton.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Trenton. I'm a student at WVUP. I'm also the AmeriCorps volunteer. I know most of you, but I work back with Kenna in admissions, and I really like it. And that's all I know to say.
Awesome. Thank you, Trenton. All right.
Hi, I prefer Lexie Carter. I'm a strategic communications major. I'm in my technically junior year at WVU Parkersburg, but it's still got to be listed as sophomore because I was at a different college before. I wear a lot of different hats, especially at the school. I was previously a work study on campus, but now I am an AmeriCorps volunteer through a nonprofit organization. And I'm also Vice President of Finance in our Student Government Association at WVU Parkersburg.
Awesome. Thank you, Lexie. And Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a criminal justice major. I'm a work study for the Center of Student Services. I have 3 kids, so I'm a full-time mom also. I'm also a prospective PTK member, which is Phi Theta Kappa for honor students who keep a certain GPA. And yeah, I'm a very active person other than in school. I like to do yoga and dance and keep active.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So each of our panelists have a different major, communications, computer information technology, criminal justice. WVU Parkersburg actually offers 50 different content areas that you can major in, and you can see all of those areas on our screen. We're also a participant in West Virginia Invest, which is very similar to the Promise Scholarship, with a couple of different requirements, but we have 11 certificates and 14 associate degrees that are covered by West Virginia Invest. So there's a high likelihood that if you live in West Virginia, you could come to WVU Parkersburg for almost free. All right, so we're going to jump into our questions, and I'd like each of our panelists to answer the questions, and then as we get to the end, we'll go through any extra questions that are in the Q&A box. And I'm going to share a little bit of information about WVUP, general information in between some of the questions. So let's start with our first one. Why did you choose WVUP?
I know I chose WVUP because I wanted to come back home from the college I was at before, that being closer to home is a lot better than being in Wisconsin, mostly because I am a homebody, but also attending WVUP just makes it feel like home away from home.
I started attending. Oh,
It's okay. I'll go. Okay. I chose WVUP because I moved away from Florida. I'm actually a transfer student. And when I looked at other colleges in the area, this one seemed to be the best one. I did tours to the other ones as well. And I just enjoyed the way this one was set up and the small class sizes and how affordable the tuition is here too.
I chose WVUP because my brother attended and he very highly recommended it. Also, it was extremely affordable and it's close to home.
Awesome. And we also have an alumni with us. Nicole Schutz is an admissions counselor at WVUP. She actually graduated from WVU Parkersburg. So Nicole, can you tell our participants why you chose WVUP?
I choose WVUP just for like being closer to home for family and stuff, and it was the most affordable for me as far as because I didn't have any extra I had to pay out of pocket. So out of pocket, it's the most affordable around here.
Awesome. Thank you. I know you didn't know I was going to ask you that.
You're fine.
Okay. So our next question is, what's your favorite thing about WVU?
I've heard from a lot of other students too that this is also their favorite thing about WVUP, but my favorite thing about WVUP is that the staff and faculty actually care about your grades and they want you to succeed in your future, unlike at bigger colleges where you're just a number and you get lost in the crowd.
I agree. That's also one of my favorite things about the college. I like how easy it is to get help when you're struggling. You can go to the tutoring and testing center. You can talk to your professor. Everybody is extremely approachable at the college.
I also agree. That's one of my favorite things about this college is the small class sizes for one. So the professors know you by name. So when you ask them a question, they know exactly who you are. They know exactly what you did as an assignment. They're always willing to help you. If you're late and you have troubles getting assignments turned in on time, they will go out of the way to extend deadlines for you and work with you and work with your schedule, especially with the whole online coronavirus thing. My professors have been really, really lenient and really awesome.
Awesome. So something that you guys have all already kind of mentioned, and I'm just going to bring up again, is the affordability and flexibility of WVUP. So all of these guys have mentioned our very affordable tuition. We are actually the most affordable college in West Virginia, as announced by a recent study. We're unique in that we only make students pay for their first 12 credit hours. A normal student will take 15 credit hours in a semester, which is about 5 classes. So for that 5th class or anything that you're taking over those first 4 classes, you don't pay tuition on. We pay tuition on those. So you're only paying for tuition on the first 12 credit hours. We also have a ton of grants and scholarships to help pay for your tuition, just like the West Virginia Invest Grant. We actually have a new grant program called Ascend for new students. That pays for your entire tuition and a little bit extra. So that's really cool. If you're tuning in from Ohio, we have in-state tuition for all Ohio residents. And then we also offer day, evening, and online classes. Right now, everything's online because of COVID, but we do offer daytime, afternoon, and evening options for those online courses. And then just the last thing that kind of adds some flexibility to your educational goals. Our credits transfer to any state school in West Virginia and most of the schools in our surrounding area. So you know that you want to go to Ohio University for osteopathic medicine, you can start with us and get your gen eds out of the way, and those classes will transfer into any of those larger schools. All right, guys. So our next question for our panelists is a two-part question. Do you feel that you're learning essential career skills in the courses you're taking? And what are some of the hands-on experiences you've been able to take part in as part of your program?
I really do feel like I have learned a lot of essential career skills, and I hope to learn more next year when I'm required to do a marketing internship. And I've gotten to plan specifically an event of my own choosing through one of my capstones, and if COVID hadn't happened, there would be an art gallery set up somewhere on campus. I've also gotten to create a fake social media business in one of my communication classes where we were allowed to work with a local business whose social media platforms needed a lot of work.
As I am a criminal justice major, a lot of the classes that I take are hands-on. It's been difficult with this whole online transition, but I have learned a lot of essential career skills when it comes to my criminal justice degree, and I love the classes.
I feel like my classes have really taught me a lot of hands-on essential skills. For one of our labs, we got to take apart and rebuild a computer and make our own cables for the computer and install them and set them up, which I thought was neat because it just gave you an overall process on how all that works.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So all of you have had some sort of hands-on experience as part of your programs. WVU Parkersburg works really hard to make sure that not only are our students learning, but they're getting to practice the skills that they'll need once they graduate. And so one of the ways that we do that is with our experiential learning program. And so Lexie kind of talked about this. Our marketing was kind of the first program to do this. But basically, our students get to work along professionals either at WVUP or in our community to practice their skills, maybe make a little bit of money, and build a portfolio for when they graduate. We do experiential learning or learn and earn programs for about, I would say, close to half. We have a CIT and CS learn and earn program, an advanced manufacturing, marketing. And then for a lot of our programs, we also have high-tech specialized labs. So our nursing program has a simulation lab with high fidelity mannequins and a skills lab where our nursing students learn how to put an IV in, how to speak to a patient, all of those different, bedside manner skills. Our criminal justice program has a crime scene simulation lab where our faculty can set up different mock crime scenes to process as part of their classes. And they also have like a chemistry classroom for anything that might be on the forensic side. Our accounting students, even though they don't have a specialized space, they do get a hands-on experience by helping the campus community prepare their taxes in the spring. So a lot of our programs have some sort of hands-on actual experience so that you're building a portfolio while you're learning. And a lot of those programs also have the option to maybe make a little bit of money while you're still in school. So our next question is, what's your favorite class, either that you're taking or that you have taken at WVUP, and why is it your favorite class?
My favorite class is literally anything that Logan Mace teaches. Photography, digital imaging, graphic design, all of those are my favorite.
My favorite class so far has been criminal investigations. We actually got to use the mock room for crime scenes, and Professor Walker, he actually set up a crime scene where there was victims and weapons used, and there was even blood. They do use real blood in the crime scene investigation room. It's expired, been tested. Doesn't have any kind of disease or anything, but it is really cool that we get to use hands-on real stuff. And yeah, that's been my favorite class so far.
My favorite class so far has probably been CIT 205, which is the class where we got to make all the cables and such for our computers, and we actually got to take them home afterwards, which I thought was really awesome. And my favorite professor is probably my CIT 114 professor. His name is Kyle Taylor. He just took over the program this semester and he's doing really awesome. He really listens to the students.
Awesome. Thank you guys. And I'm going to turn it over to Nicole. She's going to ask you a couple of questions as well.
Okay, so does WVUP offer any type of support to make sure their students are successful? If so, how do you utilize any of these services?
There are actually a lot of options for students. The tutoring and the testing center for your classes, which I have had to use the tutoring center before, but only for the printer. I know a lot of people though who do, like our education students need to use the testing center for their praxis, and the nursing students for the HESI. We also have career services, which is really nice. We can go there and they help you with your resume and things like that. I have had to use that. And there are many more that I'll let somebody else list.
I've personally had to use the tutoring center. I was a nursing student when I first came to WVUP. I changed my major this semester, and I enjoyed it. They're really good at tutoring you there. They usually use students who have already mastered the subject, so they know what they're talking about. And I've also used the testing center. It's when you, for example, have testing anxiety, they will send you down to the testing center for you to take your test in a quiet room so that to minimize your testing anxiety. That's really awesome too. I've also used career services, and they help me build a resume for my other job that I have right now, and that's really awesome because the lady that works there, I can't really remember her name, but she is very helpful and very willing to edit your resume if so need be.
I do know that my brother used the Career Service Center, and I've actually used it myself to help build up my resume. And my brother actually got a job in Charleston with the help of the Career Service Center. They helped build up his resume, and it was very helpful to us.
One thing I'd like to add that WVUP offers is they also have a counseling center. So like they have a counselor always on campus if like you need help with anything like that.
Yes, definitely. So those are all different services that we offer. But when you're looking at campus life in general, we have about 20 active clubs and organizations that you can be a part of outside of your coursework. That tutoring and testing center that these guys mentioned, that tutoring is free for students, and the tutors that work in there are students that have taken the course, passed it with an A, and have a faculty recommendation. So it's somebody that knows the class and also knows how it's being taught at WVUP. We have a Veterans Resource Center. So if you are a veteran or a child of a veteran hoping to use BI benefits or anything like that, we actually have a veterans advocate that can help you fill out the paperwork and navigate that process. WVU Parkersburg is the only community college in the state of West Virginia to house their own radio station on campus. And we have students that can host their own radio station either as a part of their major or just as an extracurricular, something fun to do. Career Services is an excellent resource for current students all the way through to graduation and being an alumni. It also helps current students get placed with work-study positions. So that's kind of a new thing that they've started working on. We have a food pantry on campus so that if any of our students maybe have hit a rough patch or need a little bit of assistance getting food or basic supplies, we can offer that here at the college. We also have a bookstore on campus and a wellness center. So if you want to join a yoga class or maybe lift free weights in your free time, we do have the facilities to do both of those as well. And then one other thing just on the campus life side of things, our student activities coordinator is amazing, and she has organized a lot of really cool events that happen all the time on campus during the day and then also in the evening. They actually just hosted late night bingo yesterday. I heard it was really fun. And then last fall, we actually had our own WVUP's Got Talent with a season finale, and our judges were students faculty, staff, and then the college president was also participating as a judge. So a lot of really fun things happening outside of class as well.
Okay, are faculty and staff approachable?
I think we've talked about this before, but they always are. I've never heard of anybody having a problem with a professor on campus before. If they know you, and remember you from a class, they'll stop you in the hall and have a quick conversation with you.
They're also very willing to help, which is my favorite part. Even if they're in the middle of something, I've had professors drop what they're doing at the moment just to answer my question or just to help me out with an assignment. And that's really neat because you won't get that at any other university, because I've been to other universities, so I know.
I think the staff is very approachable. Actually, my professor and me have had a lot of one-on-one talks, and he's really helped me through a lot of my classes.
WVUP is a commuter campus. Can I get involved outside of the classroom too? I know we kind of talked about that, but
As an SGA representative, I can say that you can always come to our meetings. We meet on, the next one is the end of October, and you can meet with us through Google Meet, and on our website is the link.
You can get involved outside of the classroom. For example, last semester, before this coronavirus thing, there was intramural sports. Like you could play volleyball and stuff like that. There's also like a lot of activities that are offered outside of just the classroom. Like they have, sometimes, like last semester, they had laser tag, and that was really neat. And they had bounce houses, and I felt like a child all over again, but it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
I do know that WVUP hosted a pool tournament for the kids and the students in the classrooms, and I personally didn't participate, but I was going to this year, and coronavirus happened, so we don't get to have that.
Awesome. And Lexie, most of our participants that are tuning in today are high school seniors and their families. If a student is interested in becoming a member of SGA, what do they need to do when they come in the fall?
In the fall, all you have to do is show up to a meeting. You don't necessarily have to be a full-time student to come to the meetings. You can be a part-time student as well. And we do welcome high school students who are taking college classes as well. They just can't be senators.
Awesome. Thank you.
do you have a favorite space on campus? If so, where and why?
I usually hide out in the aerobics room to get some studying done when we are on campus, so that's where I like to sit.
I have not been able to use it yet, but I honestly am really excited to use the new courtyard they just built. So I'm excited to be able to sit out there and bask in the sun during my breaks between classes.
Personally, my favorite space is the student lounge with the pool table because that is where I spent a majority of my first year in college.
What advice would you give a high school student who's just starting out?
Always stay closer to home. I made that mistake. Just stay closer to home where it's cheaper.
I would say that it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your major. It's okay not to know what you want to do because you're just starting out with school. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to be stressed and anxious. Just know that the resources are available. You just have to look for them and reach out and ask for help. And everyone here, the staff, the faculty will be willing to help you. You just have to ask for the help. And it's okay to feel not okay because at the end of the day, you will be okay.
I would probably say to use all available resources that all your colleges offer. It really makes life easier.
Awesome, thank you guys. So now we're going to turn it over to the Q&A. So if you're tuning in and you have a question for our student panelists, go ahead and click on that Q&A button and submit your questions. Some other just kind of fun facts about WVU Parkersburg. Our current class sizes are about 18. That's the average class size, but I think most of our classes are going to be closer to the 14 or 15 range. And it looks like maybe we're getting a couple questions. So our first question is, what is work study exactly? Can any of you guys shed some light on what a work study is and what they do?
Yeah, a work study is like a form of financial aid. When you're starting out in college, if you talk to the financial aid office and tell them you would like to be a work study, they'll send you to the right resources that you get a certain amount of money, and you can either work in admissions or you can work in any of the other departments. You can work in the business office, anywhere that needs you.
I am a work study this semester, and I think it's really awesome how they work around your school schedule and you're able to clock in and clock out depending on your classes. And I just like how you get paid to work while going to school, and you don't have the stress of a job taking over your time to study and stuff.
All right. Our next question is, does WVUP require any standardized test scores like ACT, SAT, or placement exams for admission? So I am going to go ahead and answer this one from the admissions counselor point of view. No, WVU Parkersburg is an open enrollment institution. So what that means is, as long as you're a high school graduate and you've applied, you'll be accepted at WVUP. If you've taken ACT or SAT, we do welcome those scores and we'll use them to help you with your English and math placement, but we also don't do placement exams. So if you have your ACT and SAT scores, want to turn them in, they could knock off a lab that's required for all new students for their English and their math, but again, not required. All right, let's see. Another question coming in is, can I start at WVUP and get my gen eds done and then transfer to another college that has my specific major?
Yes, absolutely. I have a lot of other friends that have done that because it's a lot cheaper here to get the gen eds out of the way and then transfer to another school for a specific degree.
Also, the school is a nationally accredited school, so our credits will transfer pretty much to any university.
All right, and it looks like maybe we have one more question. Let me just double check here. Do students have a voice on campus?
Absolutely. Our president, Chris Gilmer, has made it a point to involve student government in everything, and student government is the voice of the students. So if you choose to go to WVUP, anytime you have an issue or a problem, go to SGA and we'll figure it out with you.
Awesome. All right. That's the end of the questions that are in the Q&A box, but we'll hang out for just a minute to see if any more come in. And while we're waiting on that, hopefully our current students have persuaded you that WVU Parkersburg might be the right choice to continue your education and reach your educational goals. So how do you become a student at WVUP? The first thing that we want all of our students to do is visit us. Come out to campus. We do individual tours. We are doing individual tours right now, and they're all customized. So we actually spend more time on the areas and the content areas that you're interested in as a student, whether that's one major or three majors, but it's completely tailored to what your interests are. So please come out and visit us, spend some time in the spaces that you would be in as a student, and really get a good feel of what campus kind of feels like and the classroom feels like. After you've done that, or if you've already done that, you can submit an application online at wvup.edu/apply or /admission. That application is free and it takes about 15 minutes to fill out. So super easy, super quick. Once we have your application, you'll want to apply for financial aid. The first step of that is completing the FAFSA. The FAFSA for the fall opened at the beginning of October, so you can do this at any time. And it will be going off of 2019 taxes. And you can see our school code on your screen, 003828. You might also want to look into some other financial aid options, but I'll cover that in just a second. Once you've done that, if you're a high school senior, once you've graduated, you'll want to send us your final high school transcript. Or if you're a transfer student or a high school student taking early college courses or college credit plus classes, you'll want to send us a copy of your college transcripts from any schools that you've attended so we can give you credit for those classes. And again, if you have taken ACT or SAT, you can send those to us as well. Then kind of the last step is to look for scholarships or additional financial aid. Look into cfwv.com. The College Foundation of West Virginia has some really excellent scholarships that could cover your full cost of attendance at WVUP. Promise students, they go to WVU Parkersburg for free. West Virginia Invest will cover your tuition and mandatory fees similar to the Promise for your certificate and associate, so for your first 2 years in a lot of our programs. And there are a lot of local scholarships out there that your guidance counselors will be telling you about in the spring. In addition to all of that, the WVU Parkersburg Foundation offers about 70 to 80 scholarships, depending on the year, that are specifically for WVU Parkersburg students. And all of their qualifications are a little bit different, but you only have to fill out one application. So one application puts you in the running for about 70 to 80 different scholarships. That scholarship application will be coming out in the spring. And that brings me to my final point. You want to keep up to date. Myself, Nicole, or maybe another member of our admissions team will be reaching out to follow up with you on your application. Make sure you've gotten all of your documents in, and to let you know if there's any special events going on or any additional financial aid opportunities. So we will be reaching out, maybe via email, maybe via phone, or hopefully maybe in the spring coming out to your high schools to visit in person. And it looks like we don't have any other questions. So I'm going to wrap us up, if that's all right. I want to say thank you to our student panelists. Thank you for spending some time talking to some potential WVU Parkersburg students. If you have questions about anything that we presented today, our contact information is on the screen. You can always email us at admissions@wvup.edu, or you can call us either on the Parkersburg campus, or we also have a campus in Ripley. And if you're in the Jackson County area or the Ripley campus is a little bit closer, you can definitely visit us there as well. We do tours on both campuses. I'm going to turn it over. Do any of our panelists want to say any final words?
I hope you guys join WVUP. You won't regret it.
And if you decide to, definitely join SGA.
It's a super fun school and it's super affordable, so makes sense.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, my name is Kenna, and Nicole is our other admissions counselor on the call. Please reach out to us if you have any additional questions, or if you would like to schedule a personalized tour. We would love to welcome you to campus and show you around, and also possibly meet either one of our student panels, another current student that's on campus, or a faculty and staff member that works in the area you're interested in studying in. And with that, I think I'm going to turn it back over to our facilitator to wrap us up.
All right, thank you everyone, and thank you for joining us today. When you close this window, there'll be a quick link to a 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide us. We'd also like to remind you that we have many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at WVACRAO.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other sessions recordings at WVACRAO.org. Thank you guys again for being with us today.